All right, so we have 3 questions, and 2 of the questions kind of overlapped, all right? So basically, the question is, what is the total cost of certification for ISO 20121 for a company? We knew that was going to come up, so let's bite the bullet. Ying?
Okay.
Sorry, Lilian?
Yeah, I think there are 2 parts to it. If the company is ready, you are so familiar with 9,000 and 14,000 already, then you're ready, then you go for the certification. So this question then Lilian will answer you. If the level of readiness is not high, then there is a need for consultancy. So maybe that is a part as well. So maybe you could be looking at, it's hard to say. It really depends on the size and the complexity as well. Maybe on the certification, Lilian.
For certification, usually it may range like maybe at least 10,000 for the first year, or for bigger organization, it may go up to 20,000. But this really depends on the size and the scope of your certification. So if you need more information, right, you can reach out to me. We can actually share with you if you need to do the budgeting. Yeah.
Okay, I think this question is very open-ended, so feel free to reach out to them later and with your specific company requirements, and you probably get a more accurate figure. Okay, and then the next question is, how long is the certification process?
Okay, so for the certification process, basically if you start from scratch, right? I mean, if you do not have anything, earlier I shared about the pathway. Usually we recommend you allocate at least 6 months. Yeah, but 6 months, it can be very tight considering like if now you have a lot of events running, your resources is tied up, right? So the company can allocate around 6 to 12 months depending on your internal resources. So not to worry about, like some is, maybe you are worried, when should I start about the costing? I think the first thing, most importantly, is try to understand the standards first, implement this in your company, and when you feel you are ready, you can always move towards the certification. But the standards give you a lot of best practices that you can actually integrate into your company. Yeah.
Ying, you got anything you want to add to that? Okay, all right. The next question is, what about energy efficiency in business events?
That's a big topic. That's a really big topic because energy is required at every level as well. So for example, if you're looking at venue, definitely there are a lot of initiatives and so on. But the first step really, I would always tell my clients is, how about we measure first? Because when we measure, then we can look at comparison against peers, against benchmark. We can very quickly do the low-hanging fruits. Then you see the ROI quite immediately. And then we look at others. So once we save energy, we will save emissions automatically as well for the business. I think that's a very important factor. Yeah.
Yep. I think it's not just about saving energy, it's also about reducing the waste, because the first thing in your slide, the first layer was actually to reduce. All right, so we will cover that topic tomorrow. But the next question that we have here is, will ISO 20121 apply to even a small-scale venue provider? Is there any capacity or size before we start looking at it?
Okay, it is applicable to all event organization, regardless of size, which is similar to ISO 9001, right? Any size of organization, you can adopt it. And when you set up the system, you can always put the practice which is suitable for your organization. Yeah, sometimes people maybe think that this is something hard to achieve, but most importantly, we try to set up something which is relevant to our own organization based on the standards. Then for long term, it is easier for you to maintain.
I personally think it's easy to start small, because the bigger you are, the harder it is to convince every one of your employees and your stakeholders to go along with the idea. Ying, what do you think?
Two employees and above. Can already.
Can already.
Can already.
Okay.
We just need the intention and the commitment from, you know, from the 2%, let's say if it's 2%. But most businesses are more than 2%. Yeah.
True. How can education institutions collaborate with event industry in actively encouraging sustainable business practices? This is quite interesting, and I think this is a question that we can probably redirect to Masios, because I think this is something that they are working very hard on. Okay, Francis, do you want a mic to answer this? So Francis is the president of our Malaysian Association.
Yeah, thank you, Didi. Well, definitely we are going towards the net zero carbon events. That is a pledge that's been made on the COP pledge, where we are aiming to that by 2050 to reduce the emission by 2030. We are not a pleasure, but we are a supporter. So because we want to encourage all our industry to follow to that direction. I think that is not the direction from it's the international direction, also from our government as well. So at this moment, we are working with, we are actually working with a few consultants to see how we can bring the industry to that level. All right, and what is the direction as an industry, not as an individual, because there are different paths. You can see for us from the SPICE, we have been doing it in terms of as a venue. KL Convention Center is also doing it very aggressively. They even recently this year appoint a sustainability manager. So someone is dedicated for that part only on sustainability. And as what you have seen just now from, you know, from Julius, whatever, more, if you want to do international events, international organizers are going to ask, what is your ESG policy? What is your sustainability policy? You have to submit your policy together with the RFP. And you don't have that policy in place, they'll go elsewhere that has it. And I would like to also to emphasize this on Singapore. Singapore is way ahead. They already have gone, they have put in the instance that not just, they will put a commitment that says 50% of their or 100% of their industry player will be certified, will be ready by this year, by 2030. So they have already made that commitment as industry. Okay, and we are still trying to evolve and see how can we go that. Easiest way is to copy and paste, you know. But the thing is that we also need to see whether we can achieve that or not. It's easy to say that this is what we want to do, but whether our industry is ready, and they need to have the awareness, they need to have that understanding what is all this about. But one thing I can tell you is that with all this mumbo jumbo, with all the ISO, my advice to every single event industry player is start doing small steps. Start doing small steps. If you think that is help to the sustainability, do it. And most important thing is start the measurement. Measure your whatever you can measure. So you can see just now on the list. Thank you, Ying, for showing the SPICE one. We just have to take a brainstorming and say, okay, can we do this? Do first. Just do it, start small, eventually you pull in all the data together. So that is I would say my recommendation. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Francis. So I think that conversation with Francis and the whole debate session can go on over dinner and over the next few days. But thank you, Francis, for giving us an overview of where we are as an industry for Malaysia. Okay, and with that one paragraph, you actually covered 3 other questions, okay, that we had here. So if the rest of you have any more questions, please go and look for Francis after this. All right. I think we'll take the final questions. Basically, does anyone here, including both of our speakers?
Didi?
Yes?
Can I have one?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, Dato' Sri.
Yeah, my name is Ermo Hizam. I really inspired with the presentation. I just want to ask regarding the challenges in terms of to advocate and to create awareness of disability. I believe that in this hall we understand, but outside there sometimes people are confused. So can you enlighten us? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the question. I think we all need to be champions and we advocate. We learn. This is how I learn as well. I've been in the industry for about 25 years. When I started, sustainability wasn't a word. It was other things, you know, environmental protection and so on. But as it develops, we keep learning. And I would say it would be great if we can collaborate, we can share ideas, we can engage, and we advocate and tell the rest. That is definitely really good. Number two, I think we need to see the trend where the expectations are, because Malaysia is such a global, we are a player in a global stage as well. We understand what the expectations are of to be relevant, to be significant, to be leaders in the world in whatever industry we are, and in this case, business events, then we can go on and be the best, and we just need to inspire everybody to do the same. And actually, there's no choice. 7 years to go to 2030. So when they started 2015, the UN SDG, they had these goals that in 15 years, 2030 will be there. We're halfway there already. 2023, there's 7 years left. So let's do this. Yeah.
Lilian, any last words?
Okay, so in terms of the challenges, I think as a beginning, because this sustainability may be new in the industry, right? So definitely for those pioneers that you want to move forward, normally the main challenges that facing by the industry maybe is throughout the supply chain as well. For example, when you want to implement this, you may face issue with the suppliers or in terms of the lack of awareness. That's why it is very important. I think today this is a very good platform that we have people from the whole supply chain, and if everyone can work together, right, and move towards the same direction, it can actually make the whole process smoother and easier. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and I think with that we wrap up, but I just wanted to share this. I think, and I read it somewhere, on a dead planet there are no events. So it's time that we as an industry start moving ahead. Let's work together and build a better future for all. Thank you.